me in. That's what the black church has done for black Americans for their, imagine what would have happened if there'd been no black church all those periods of darkness. Well, you give us a mountaintop, you give us a promised land, you give us a dream and a faith that we shall overcome, we can overcome. You know, and you push us toward a more perfect union. You really do.
From 67 to 65, would the cost of living continue to increase? Every last penny counts and helps so many people out. So folks, let's get into the most important stimulus news that I want you guys to know. Because there's a ton of information that is very important about the fourth stimulus check. And many people associate Social Security with retired Americans. Well, the elderly are especially dependent on the program as well, with almost 9 out of 10 Americans facing this problem. And now, nearly 2/3 of the House has signed into a bill that will boost Social Security to the public sector workers with government pensions who currently see limited return benefits. The bill has gathered around 290 co-sponsors and a threshold that could allow its backers to force a vote on House floor and offer leverage as they work to get through the chamber. Under the House rules, the bills with at least 290 co-sponsors can be put on the consensus calendar, a process that allows rank-and-file members to force widely backed bills to the floor if the committee of jurisdiction won't take it up. It was referred to as Ways and Means on January 9th, and the panel has scheduled a meeting to consider it. Now, according to congressional research data, it would actually aid more than 90,000 people in the state of Louisiana. Even representatives are a notable voice for the GOP conference after helping a broker debt limit agreement on Kevin McCarthy and build consensus among Republican members. But now they're aiming to boost Social Security payments for public workers and government pensions and things like this for people who have jobs covered by Social Security taxes. Now, the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset reduce Social Security payouts and spousal benefits for employees in an effort to avert highly unfair payouts. And groups representing retired teachers, police officers, and state and local employees say the reductions go too far and unfairly punish the public savants. But so far, everybody, here's what Joe Biden has to say about this. The bill would actually rack up 305 co-sponsors within the stimulus cash. There are billions of dollars in unclaimed money available. Checks are being distributed in varying ways, amounting from 50 to even 10,000 grand. And now, 1 in 7 Americans qualify right now for some extra money. And now, according to Yahoo News, billions of dollars of unclaimed property is being held by state governments for safekeeping, just waiting for Americans to reclaim what's rightfully theirs. And like a giant lost and found, state treasuries look for financial assets, including missed paychecks and utility refunds they've abandoned or forgotten by their owners. Now, often people don't realize that they have unclaimed property but Oregon Treasurer Tobias Reed has announced the agency's plan to return approximately $10 million in unclaimed funds as part of the Checks Without Claims initiative. The effort will be the largest mass disbursement of funds by Oregon's Unclaimed Property Program to date. Checks distributed will vary in varying amounts from $50,000 to $10,000. And the New York State Comptroller's Office is also currently holding $18 billion in everyday people's lost money, and it returns $1.5 million to people who file claims daily. And a lot of people are missing out on lots of claim filings. There are over $7 billion sent to go to people in June, and even more is coming. The Biden administration has also approved $20 million in investments to help finance clean energy projects, including installing electric vehicles, charging stations, retrofitting homes to make them energy efficient, and providing communities with battery backup power. Senior officials have said that the investment across 2 grant competitions aims to help communities that have faced historic underinvestment. Even Kamala Harris touted the investment Friday afternoon during an event. She said that the climate crisis is one of the most urgent matters, touching on how the communities in the U.S. are facing droughts, flooding, and even wildfire smoke. The 2 competitions, the National Clean Energy and Clean Communities Investment Accelerator, will allocate $14 to $6 billion for the projects, and the funding is part of the EPA Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. It will help so many people, folks. Plus, the White House said that both competitions will focus funding on low-income and disadvantaged communities, including the rural communities. At least 40% of funds in the $14 billion competition and all of the funds in the $6 billion competition will flow to these communities. Kamala Harris even said that the investments will help families' budgets by improving energy-efficient systems and public health by promoting clean energy and utility bills. First of all, the IRS is warning taxpayers about the opening of a 2023 tax filing season that they should expect a smaller refund. It's due to the crisis and the measures expected to expire. So the latest federal stimulus payment went out in 2021. It means that millions of people already received those stimulus payments as a recovery rebate credit. Some, the wait for benefits is more costly. A 2023 report, which looked at fiscal years 2014 and 2018, found that 48,000 Americans had to file for bankruptcy as they waited a final decision on their disability appeals. Meanwhile, 110,000 Americans during the same time period died during that time. Experts say that more cuts to SSA will result in a rapid increase of wait times and force SSA to make some difficult changes that people don't want to see happen. But now, aside from Social Security lawmakers, could be facing a budget shutdown this fall over a number of issues. For example, Republicans in the House Appropriations Committee are proposing a cut to fund Social Security, federal student aid, office at a time when student loan payments are resuming over a 3-year pause. Some Democratic lawmakers have already called on top appropriation lawmakers to consider increasing funding for the agency. And some Democrats also think that Social Security should see a similar influx in spending. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, for instance, have repeatedly introduced a bill that will bolster Social Security checks by $2,400, which would be subsidized by upping taxes on the wealthy. Senator Sanders said in a statement, "Our job is to expand Social Security so that every senior in America can retire with dignity that they deserve, and every person with a disability can live with the security they need." Republican presidential candidates are also announcing support for changes to Social Security for the millennials and the younger generations. But now, AARP predicted that if the trust fund is depleted, the program would only be able to pay about 70%, 80% of the benefits so far. This is not good, everybody. And what do you think Joe Biden will do for the people of America? Is he going to send out the stimulus checks in 2023? Can he get the job done? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. We got 10 minutes with the fourth stimulus check, everybody. Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI. Continue to watch this video because you don't want to miss out on this. As inflation continues to go forward, well, shoppers are finally getting some relief at the grocery store. Rising food prices in the figure match pace with the consumer inflation in June from the prior month. And as the planet nearly broke the record for the hottest day known in history, Tampa Bay dealt with consecutive days of heat advisories. Now, what's going to happen is now about 20.5 million American households, or 1 out of 6 families, were behind on their electricity bills as of January. Even Duke Energy residential customers with past due bills, unpaid use services, are actually qualifying for the company's Share the Light Fund. The Share the Light Fund provides one-time financial assistance to help customers and people pay their energy bills, deposits, and utility connections or reconnection charges.
And it was a heavy lift. I could tell them you have a lot of workers because there's no jobs, you have a lot of people to choose from, but people had given up hope. They really stopped believing. But in all my efforts to recruit businesses and retrain those that had stayed,